Good evening, everybody. It's Monday night, which means it's time to go wild. Welcome to the Time to Go Wild radio show on Halton Community Radio 92.3 FM. We're also live across the world on hcr923fm.com/listen and via TuneIn. If you want to contact the show, do so via social media, Facebook or twitter.com/TTGW radio. We have email, radio@widneswild.co.uk. We have the phone 01928 835 291 and text 07716 672 874. Start your message with TTGW or messages charged at your standard network rate. I hope you're all ready because it's time to go wild. A very warm welcome, everyone, to the Time to Go Wild radio show. Monday's come around once again. Though there may not have been anything from your YKK Widnes Wild, there's been plenty of hockey this weekend. And to go through all the information, I have a pair of bungies with me this evening. Hello, you two.
Hello, Colin. Hello,
Colin.
listeners.
So, it was a quiet one this weekend for wild hockey, wasn't it? In some ways.
In some ways, yes. In other ways, no, because there were still games going on.
Yes.
Still plenty of hockey.
Oh, yes. And bit of news, and I will... Some of you may have seen a message come out from, I can't remember if it was myself or from the Time to Go Wild radio Twitter feed and Facebook feed about our under-13s game on Saturday, which I will talk about after the scores a bit more. And I'll just say it now and I'll repeat myself a bit later on. 20 years I've been watching hockey, 20 years. And an event in that game is going to be one of my highlights of hockey forever. It was priceless. But before we do that, better do the scores. Okay, your weekly roundup of the scores from around the leagues. Here we go. Okay, starting on Sunday in the Elite Ice Hockey League's Challenge Cup, it was the final, and it finished Belfast Giants 2, Guildford Flames 1 after overtime, which means the Belfast Giants have won the EIHL Challenge Cup for this season. Moving into the Elite Ice Hockey League's league fixtures, rolling back to Thursday the 7th of March. Fife Flyers 2, Cardiff Devils 4. For Friday, Belfast Giants 5, Glasgow Clan 4, Cardiff Devils 2, Guildford Flames 0. On Saturday, Milton Keynes Lightning 3, Coventry Blaze 6, Nottingham Panthers 4, Dundee Stars 1, Sheffield Steelers 4, Fife Flyers 1. On Sunday, Dundee Stars 2, Manchester Storm 4, Coventry Blaze 5, Milton Keynes Lightning 2, Fife Flyers 5, Sheffield Steelers 4 after overtime. Moving to the EIHA Women's Premier League for Sunday, Widnes Wild Women 1, Milton Keynes Falcons 4. Moving to EIHA Under-13s North 3 action for Saturday, Widnes 1, Nottingham 13. NIHL Division 1 North Morley action for Saturday, Hull Pirates 14, Billingham Stars 1, Blackburn Hawks D1 1, Telford Tigers D1 7, Solway Sharks 7, Nottingham Lions 1. Sheffield Steel Dogs v Solihull Barons was cancelled due to no ice at Ice Sheffield and has been awarded as per the rules of competition according to the EIHA website. On Sunday, in the NIHL Division 1 North Morley, Whitley Warriors 6, Billingham Stars 0, Sutton Sting 2, Blackburn Hawks D1 6, Solihull Barons 5, Solway Sharks 4, Telford Tigers D1 2, Sheffield Steel Dogs 3 after a shootout, Nottingham Lions 0, Hull Pirates 16. Into NIHL Division 2 North Laidler action for Saturday, Bradford Bulldogs 4, Blackburn Hawks D2 0, Telford Tigers D2 7, Altrincham Aces 4, Coventry NIHL Blaze 5, Hull Jets 6 after overtime. On Sunday, Sheffield Senators 7, Dragons 3, and Blackburn Hawks D2 2, Telford Tigers D2 6. And that's your results for the last week. Unfortunately, we don't have any post-match interviews this week, so you're going to have to listen to us. Some interesting results have come out of that lot, haven't there?
They have. Firstly, well done Telford for keeping themselves in the title race with picking up the 4 points over the weekend.
Yeah.
And the other thing I noticed, Blackburn Hawks shipping a lot less goals this weekend than normal.
Yes, very much so.
They were actually, yeah.
Where are we? Blackburn Hawks 4-0.
4-0 against Bradford and then 6-2.
So they only shipped 10 goals, where they've often hit that in a game, so it shows how much they're improving.
It does indeed. And, it's a testament to how everything's improved within the league the whole season. And although when you actually look at the form on the graph of a lot of the teams, pretty much since the beginning of the year, most of the teams are sort of settled in a particular position in the league. You know, the 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th have been basically the same teams.
Yeah, they haven't really changed.
The only positions really that have switched around are 2nd, 3rd and 4th. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. But, of course, the result over the weekend for Telford has, if I'm not mistaken, mathematically secured Telford a playoff spot as well. If I'm not mistaken, 46 points for Telford, and the maximum,
I'd say so.
Based on my maths anyway, says the highest the next clubs can get is 45 and 43, which is for Hull Jets, and then 43 for Bradford and Sheffield respectively.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the Coventry NAHL Blaze are no longer able to qualify for the playoffs. They've fallen short, sadly, with a potential max of 33. Mm-hmm. But it was an enlightening weekend, to say the least. My mic seems a bit quiet tonight. Well, where do I start? Juniors. What an event that turned into. It was a really, really good turnout from the support base from both Widnes and Nottingham, which was a pleasure to see. And we're going to have our first song a bit early because of something that happened. And for those of you out there who've seen the Facebook and Twitter post, you'll understand. And those of you who weren't and are listening, wondering, what on earth is he going on about? Well, during a break in play in the second period, we have our nice range of songs to, while breaks of play are happening. And it was decided, it's time to play a particular song. And in the past, I think it was last time Nottingham were in town, the fans and the players on the bench
it proved popular then. I remember you
dancing
saying
along.
It was popular then too.
Well, this time, it wasn't just the people in the stands. It wasn't also just the kids who were on the bench. Oh no, it was everybody. Players and all, apart from the Stripies. We were a little upset, and I could understand them keeping an air of professionalism. But yes,
internally they were probably dancing.
Oh, they were.
Just like everyone else.
Pretty sure. But where YMCA came on, and it's a line change, and you can see all the kids getting ready for a line change, and they're all trying to dance to YMCA with sticks and gloves in hand and everything. It was priceless.
It must have been a sight.
It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, of course, in the third period, we're going to do it again. Put it on. They're all up. They're all going. So, I'm going to have our first song early as a thank you to everybody who was at that under-13s game on Saturday. I have got a memory that is going to live with me now, and we've set the bar. So, come on, guys. We've got a game on Saturday against Grimsby. Let's do it again. It's going to be ace. So,
it'd be like a signature thing.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Juniors
Yeah,
games, YMCA.
We have our
Signature.
goal song. They can have their signature "Let's Get Everyone Up and Dancing" song.
Why not? Because it's worth it. It was priceless, absolutely priceless, and I'll just have to play it because just imagine a line change at a hockey game and everybody, including the players, starts doing a dance to this. Oh, there you go. Memories of Saturday night. The Wild Academy Under-13s against Nottingham and YMCA. It's the Time to Go Wild radio show on Halton Community Radio 92.3 FM. Well, what can you say after listening to that?
I just wish I would have been there to see it. I'm sorry I missed it now.
Oh,
Yeah.
priceless. Totally. I mean, I've seen goaltenders do 3 jumps in full hockey kit,
How?
and he landed it perfectly. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Just
Do you reckon that's something he secretly practiced?
Well, for those people who know
Waiting.
of Anders Højbjerg, it was after his first. We had our first win as the Hull Stingrays in our very first season as the Stingrays, and we got this win. And Anders was in goal, and I think it was a shutout as well. Yeah, it was 1-0 win against Guildford. And it was one of the most tortuous games you've ever seen because we got a goal and parked the bus.
the old
Literally,
part the bus.
We literally
Yeah.
parked the bus, and at the end of the game, he got man of the match, and just for no reason at all, as a celebration. I said, people asked him what came over you. He just went, "I just did it," and it became his celebration. It happened after every time we got. We didn't get. We got a few wins that year. After every game, everyone was like, "Whoa!"
Wait for it.
Hey!
That is some part of the best thing of like sports in general, though. The spontaneous celebrations. I mean, there's some of
Yeah.
the ones you see in football after they score a goal, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean some of the backflips and stuff, but
Yeah.
you've seen that one, and then this one was completely spontaneous on Saturday. We've had the kids dancing on the benches, and if all the action's been down one end of the ice,
Not during
the
an actual
opposition
line change before, though.
the opposition goalie's been dancing, and we've even seen that at sort of Wild games
Yeah.
and the likes. But this one was a case of everybody, home players, away players, everyone in the stands, all YMCA, and it's a case of this is a moment that is going to live. Brilliant, absolute brilliance, and a big thank you to all the support base that travelled up with Nottingham and made it such a fun atmosphere. And we hope you had a good time. We look forward to seeing you all again. And of course, we've got more, plenty of games coming up over the coming weeks.
Yeah.
It's a busy time. Well, I think I'm going to put this on. Because the reason I'm putting the news bed on is because we've had an interesting little statistic come up, which we were chatting about before we went on air. And a bit of the EIHA NIHL Division 2 Laidler League for the D2 North. And there's an interesting little statistic that I've come up with.
Yep.
And it makes for very interesting reading, doesn't it, guys?
Very, very
It does.
interesting reading, especially given the games that are still to be rescheduled.
Yeah, so if you look at the games for Bradford, Hull and Sheffield respectively, they've got 4, 5 and 5 games left. But for Hull and Sheffield, there are currently in the fixture list 3 unscheduled games and 2 unscheduled games for both of those teams.
Yep.
So I've done a bit of a predictor league based on that. So based on the fact Bradford have got 4 games, I suspect, 4 wins for those games. So they'll win 2. For Hull, they've got 2 in the schedule, 2 wins. And Sheffield have got 3 in the schedule, and I'm expecting the 3 wins for those. When you tot up all the points based on their current points, it puts all 3 teams on 39.
Yes, I wouldn't like to be
Not
on the
a position you want to
EIHA
be in.
board or the NIHL decision board with that one.
And when you look at the fixtures, guys, what Hull, ignoring there's a Hull Sheffield game that needs to be sorted, which is accounted for in this. So at the moment, it's a null game. There's also what are the other game?
Hull have games against Coventry Blaze and Altrincham Aces unscheduled.
Yeah.
And the Senators, Sheffield, theirs is Altrincham Aces as well.
So it's very interesting. I mean, Bradford don't have to worry, but the league decisions about what happens with those unscheduled games, I'm with you, Carl.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on that decision-making panel.
No. I mean, it was tough enough last year when we had 2 Widnes games that had to be decided by effectively the pools panel.
Yeah.
And
but that didn't have anywhere near the implication of Hull and Sheffield making a decision that will put one of them out of the playoffs, potentially.
Yeah. I mean, Bradford finish where Bradford finished, but it could effectively put Bradford out of the playoffs.
Potentially.
Yes, potentially, depending how they do with the remaining games.
So
but at least with Bradford, it's in their hands and not the hands of...
Yeah. When you actually look at Bradford's fixtures, they've got a game against Hull and a game against Telford. So it's a Hawks 2 and Aces game with a Hull game and a Telford game. So it is crucial games coming up for Bradford and Hull in particular. Definitely. When you look at that, because the games I've put in the predict to win account for the Hull Bradford game going in favour of Hull at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the Bulldogs do have a habit of biting you.
They do, and given what's at stake, both teams are going to be going through it. I imagine that would be one game to be watching as a neutral. It would be a cracking game.
It will.
I mean, look at how they turned out last season to be our difficult team.
Yes, they did.
And that game is in Bradford on the 16th, so this weekend.
And we all know what Bradford's quirky rink's like.
Oh yes, it's
you'd
small,
potentially
compact.
say possibly advantage Bradford with it being at their rink.
Can be. Actually, what's the form? What's the form on that? Hull Jets. Hull 1. That was a Hull 1 in Bradford. Bradford 1 in Hull.
Yeah.
And Bradford 1 in Hull.
Oh. So actually,
it is advantage Bradford on the head-to-head at the moment, but Hull have the away win.
Yes, Bradford have a 2-1 win in the series at the moment. So ironically, both teams have won on the road.
Yeah, both teams have won
unusual.
Their away games.
Yeah, so yes, that is definitely a game to keep an eye on, and another game coming up this coming weekend to keep an eye on. For all the YKK Widnes Wild fans will probably be keeping a very close eye on a game on Saturday, because the Coventry NIHL Blaze take on the Telford Tigers T2.
They do indeed.
And again, the outcome of that has a very interesting knock-on effect to the league.
Yes, it could decide the title.
It could do, because maximum points for the Telford Tigers D2 team without dropping any points at the moment is 50.
I mean, personally for me, I hope Telford win it, because I've done both as a football fan. I have seen my team win a game to win a league. I've also seen someone beat our opposition and us win the league, and the difference in feeling you have is unreal. There's something about watching your team win the league rather than be handed it based on another result. So I'm hoping Telford win and we get to win it on Sunday at home.
Sunday, yeah. So yes, it's one of those interesting times in the season for sure. But still a lot to fight for in D2. Never mind D1.
D1's extremely close at the moment.
D1 is very, very tight at the moment.
Yeah, we were having a look at lunchtime about a week ago, me and my mum, and we were saying it was close. It was close then, but...
You can see why they want the new league structure.
Yes.
Looking at the league.
Oh, definitely.
Because the teams that have come down from the EPL, both in the north and the south, are running away with it.
Yeah. I mean, they've got now, having been in Hull's position when they dropped from the British National League into the then EPL. they struggled because of the change in the structure of the team, because it was an 8-import league with work permits, etc., and it went to the 3-import league with no work permits permitted, etc. So it was tough to structure. However, when they started as the Pirates, this time within the structures, within the whole system, and the recruitment they put together, they put a really strong EPL team together. And because of the change from EPL to D1, it's only dropping effectively one import.
Yeah, you just drop an import.
So the backbone of the team, and I was listening to the Pirates Nottingham Lions commentary last night, and they basically said the backbone of the team is still very local, which it is. The same with Sheffield, the same with Telford. And as such, they've maintained the standard they had at EPL, where it was still a lot of local guys who can play at a high level.
You just dropped one import, and that import couldn't play all the time anyway, because obviously the rules were you could only have one import on the ice still, and so you don't miss them as much as if you lost, like you say, when they dropped down, they lost 5 imports from the British National League. That's a major thing. That's a full line disappearing effectively.
It was, yeah. So, that was one of the big comments that was coming through about, how the teams are structured, the differences between like a Hull Pirates and a Nottingham Lions in terms of finance as well. Because of the way in which the team works, the finances are a completely different structure. So, of course, the ability for that team to build a particular style of team is different.
Yeah.
But... and again, a comment that was made about promotion relegation after the recent press release, which many of you will have seen through eiha.co.uk and umpteen social media feeds. We don't know what the structure's actually going to be yet.
We know the promotion from N2 to N1 and S2 to S1 and the relegation the other way was withheld unless a team asked to go. It wasn't automatic anymore under this year's rules.
Yeah.
It was, you could ask to go up and they'd look at it, but you didn't have to, based on, obviously, because of the issues we had in the middle of last season when teams requested to drop down and didn't want to go up. And
it's a tough one. So, but of course, the restructuring with the proposal for a new National League above D1.
So you'll have
North
D1
and South.
North, D2 South.
And effectively a new National League, probably based around the similar model to D1. I think it's actually, and hopefully they will use that model, but we will find out in the coming week or weeks, because I think there's a meeting at some point in the next weekend or a couple of weekends' time.
Couple of weeks, and obviously with that as well, you will find N1 becomes, I imagine, and South 1 become tighter competitions in themselves, because the teams that are now walking away with them won't be in there anymore.
Well, I mean, we haven't done the in-depth probing, but my suspicion is when you probe into the league and look at the results, just looking at North 1, where you've got, I'll use 5th down, because that's where the gap really does. Although it's a 20-point gap from 42 to 62 between Solway and then the top 3. You've got Whitley, Solihull, Blackburn, Hawks 1, Sutton, Billingham and Nottingham Lions. They've all played D1 and D2 hockey in their more recent 10, 20-year histories. So they are established within that structure. So are Solway, but maybe Solway do want to play at a higher level.
Yes.
But it does show that I think those inter-team competitions have been a lot more competitive than when they've been playing some of the higher teams.
Yeah, definitely. You can, like say, you've only got to look at the league itself. It kind of shows that, the fact that 5th have 35 points and 1st, 2nd and 3rd have 62, which is almost double the points.
Yeah.
So it shows the strength of those teams compared to the rest of the league.
And if you look at D2, I mean, it's a bit more of a gradient.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yes, YKK Widnes Wild are at 50, but Telford are at 46 now, although Wild have got a game in hand. but the general gradient, 18, 22, 26, 33, 35, it's a steady gradient up.
Yeah, Altrincham win a few games, they would jump up the league quite a few places. So, and vice versa, if you lose a few, you would potentially drop a few places in the league.
Well, looking at the way the run out of the season goes amongst the bottom 6th to 8th, Altrincham are currently on 18. They could get 10 more points. D-side have 6 points available, and Coventry have 8 points available. So there's plenty of scope for those teams currently within their existing points. So you could go from if Altrincham win all the rest of their games, they go to 28. If Coventry lose all their games, they stay on 25.
Yeah.
And
again,
massive
if D-side win their remaining games, they also go to 28. And if Coventry lose, they'll go to 25. So
so all of a sudden, where you were once 6th, you could drop to 8th, and 8th could go to 6th.
Yeah.
So there is a fair bit of shim available in that.
Mm-hmm.
So as we said, the D2 league has been competitive generally, and we've had a few scares.
Yes,
definitely.
Very much.
So yes, okay, you want to look at the Wild's form. That's that's been unbelievable this year.
Yeah.
You
17.
You don't expect teams to do that every season. It's very rare a team will go that length of time unbeaten.
The only team I think consistently did that was Solihull Barons in D2. They got to the point where they were basically unbeatable in D2.
Yeah.
And they had to go up because of the strength of that team.
Just for the competitiveness of the league.
Yeah, it made the title impossible for anybody to obtain. Well, we shall bring our little league table talk to an end. A little break for a bit of music, and I'm going to play one that sometimes you might hear. Oh no, I'm changing it. It's one that I actually played during pre-game at the weekend, and I was on the radio, and before I arrived at the ring, I thought, oh, I'm sure I've got this. A bit of Simple Minds. Sanctify Yourself. Of course, we've not got many weeks left for the season, but we've still got plenty of ways, of course, to find out what's going on for your YKK Widnes Wild. Of course, we've got our website, widneswild.co.uk. Check us out on Facebook for both the club and the radio show. If it's Facebook or Twitter.com, put Widnes Wild at the end and you get the club. If you put TTGW Radio, you get the radio show. The Instagram feed, Instagram.com/WidnesWildOfficial. Make sure you put Widnes Wild Official for that one. If you want to contact the radio show, it's radio@widneswild.co.uk, and throughout the week you can text us 07716 672 874, and while we're on air you can use 60066 starting your message with HCR, and that way it comes through to the computer screen. And of course a big shout out to our very, very valued sponsors, our headline sponsor of YKK, and look up their hashtag, it's not just a zip. And we have Spriggs & Son of Widnes, DMH Tyres, Ruxton Electricals, CL Woodworking, Nails by Alicia, who are on our goals, and our charity of the Halton Haven Hospice. What's coming up in the fixtures?
So on Saturday the 16th of March we have the Widnes Under-9s in a cross-ice tournament, and that's taking place in Telford with a face-off time of 4:20. We also have Widnes Under-13s who are hosting Grimsby with a face-off time of 6:50. Sunday the 17th of March we have the YKK Widnes Wild hosting the Altrincham Aces with the usual face-off of 5:30. Saturday the 23rd of March, the Widnes Under-9s in another cross-ice tournament, this time in Grimsby with a face-off time of 4 p.m. And Widnes Under-15s hosting Nottingham Under-15s with a face-off time of 6:50. Sunday the 24th of March, we have the D-side Dragons hosting our YKK Widnes Wild with a face-off time of 5:45. Saturday the 30th, we have Blackburn under-15s hosting Widnes under-15s with a face-off of 6:15. And then Sunday the 31st of March, we have Grimsby under-13s hosting Widnes under-13s at 4:30. And your YKK Widnes Wild hosting the Deeside Dragons at 5:30.
And we also have a TV game coming up, don't we? 20th
We
of
do.
March.
On Wednesday the 20th of March on Free Sports, we have an Elite League game. That's the Glasgow Clan versus the Cardiff Devils, and it's a 7:30pm face-off.
Well, so there you go. Free Sports available, bit of Elite League hockey. And, of course, after the 31st of March, we have a couple of week break till a couple of very important events coming up, Carl.
We do. On the 13th and 14th of April, we have the NIHL Final Four weekend. That's in Coventry. And on the Sunday, that includes the Division 2 North versus Division 2 South League winners for the NIHL 2 National Championship. And then on the 20th and 21st of April at Planet Ice Widnes, we have the NIHL North 2 playoff weekend. And in Bracknell on the same weekend, the 20th, 21st of April, they have the NIHL South 2 playoff weekend.
So, yes, plenty of hockey to be coming your way, though we do have a little bit of a break. And our final show of the regular season will be on April the 1st after the final league game of the season, but we will be back with a post-playoff special on the Monday after the playoffs. So, keep your eye on all the social media for the Time to Go Wild radio schedules. So, yes, not many shows left to the end of the year, guys.
No,
Shame.
not many
I
left
do
at
like
all.
doing the radio show.
Well, I mean, I just hope everyone's been enjoying it.
Yes, hopefully we've been knowledgeable and informative to everybody.
Yes, it's not like my show on a Thursday where I tantalise, tease, torment,
No,
and turn your brain to porridge and make your ears bleed.
Your show on a Thursday is just pure madness.
Yeah.
It's fantastic
Chaos.
fun, but it's just chaos and madness.
And this week it's the bodtinery this week. Yes.
That'll be interesting.
Oh, trust me, it will be. Right. Well, we have more of. Oh, wrong one. Wrong jingle.
We don't have more of that.
No. We have more of this. Yes, a few more newsy items courtesy of eiha.co.uk. And some of them that have come out this week. From the 5th of March, league rulings on some outstanding N1 fixtures. Carl, what have the outcomes come from those?
Yes, the National League Management Group has ruled on 2 games in NIHL North 1, which will now not be played. Telford Tigers versus Whitley Warriors was postponed on January the 27th after the Warriors bus broke down en route to the game. Telford have offered 2 alternative weekend dates, which have been turned down by Whitley. Under the rules of competition, the game is awarded 5-0 to Telford Tigers.
Okay, so this is sort of setting the scene for a couple of games in D2, isn't it?
Yes.
Potentially, yes.
And the Steel Dogs v Solihull game?
Yes, that was originally scheduled for this coming Saturday, March the 9th. However, the Steel Dogs lost the ice slot to a 2-day event at Ice Sheffield. They offered 2 alternative weekend dates to Solihull Barons, which have been turned down. Again, per the rules of competition, the game is awarded 5-0 to Sheffield.
So, there's the latest North fixtures news. And an interesting one coming up, courtesy of the Solway Sharks. They've got a Keeper of the Cup turning up. Phil Pritchard is their guest speaker at a gala dinner on the 27th of April. The Keeper of the Stanley Cup.
Yes, I bet he's got some very interesting stories about where that cup has been, considering every player on the winning team gets a day with it, and he has to travel everywhere with it.
Yes. Oh, I've seen some of the things that have happened with that cup.
Yes, I've seen people eating cereal out of it,
I've
putting
seen
it in a pool on a lilo.
It's gone fishing.
Yes, he must look at that cup and be petrified every time he sees some of what those players do with it.
Yep. I've actually seen it on the end of a boat, on a guy's little rowing boat in the middle of a lake, and he went fishing.
Yeah, imagine that going in. Where's the Stanley Cup, sir?
Worse, imagine having to go in after
oops.
it.
Yeah, well, but no, that cup. You think, a cup can't do anything special. There is a magic with that cup.
That cup is magical, and if that cup could talk, it'd have some stories.
Well, there's tales of it going into hospitals, and they see the kids who are basically there, that whatever they're suffering from, and all of a sudden they come to life. All of a sudden, there's moments of clarity. It's amazing. Whatever that cup has,
because it's
magic.
such an iconic cup, isn't it? Everybody recognises it.
I remember this year, last year now, obviously Alex Ovechkin had it for the Washington Capitals, and he took it to an event, and half of Russia turned out to witness the cup. There was 8 people were queuing for 16 hours to see Alex Ovechkin in that cup.
Carl tried to recreate the cup out of little hammer beads.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Well, that'll be a challenge. But yes, so there's been other events with the Stanley Cup where it's gone to places and things.
Yeah, all I say is it needs to come back home. It's a British Cup. It was bought in London. It needs to come back home.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's the only trophy that has the name of every player on that squad who's taken part in the competition.
Yes, not just the players. The backroom staff can have their names on it. Anyone involved with the club that season can ask to have their name put on the cup.
And this is why players will bite their way through an inch-thick oak door to do one shift.
Yes.
Literally.
You need to do one shift. If you're on the ice for 40 seconds during the season, your name can go on the cup if you win it.
So yes, and the last little bit of NIHL news: the NIHL clubs are throughout it's the D1 clubs. The National Ice Hockey League has today announced that the proceeds from the 50-50 draws at the NIHL Final 4 weekend in Coventry on the 13th and 14th of April will be donated to the Ross Bowers appeal. These would usually be included in the net proceeds of the event and shared equally between all 18 Division 1 teams. But they're donating it to the Ross Bowers fund, which is a really nice gesture.
It's a really classy touch, that.
Because he was very badly injured in his eye, wasn't he?
Yes.
Well, so that I think is most of the news. Well, of course, check out eiha.co.uk for most of your main EIHA-based news items. Well, thinking back to the previous weekend when we had our game against, where are we? Hull. It was an interesting game because it lacked penalties.
It was. Yes. It was a pretty clean game, wasn't it?
One of the cleanest games I've seen for a long time.
Yes.
And it was just one of those games where both teams it was a chalk and cheese style of game from Telford, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Totally different game too.
The tactics, the possession, the way the teams played, it was skating. It
was nice because it was teams playing ice hockey. Just literally going out there and playing the actual sport.
Yeah, and it was one of the shortest ones to video because there were so few stoppages.
Yes, there wasn't many stoppages at all.
I was really surprised when I got home and started doing the edits. A case of, wow, that was short.
Yeah.
I mean, even the saves, there wasn't a lot of goaltenders covering the puck and taking a whistle. It was just it seemed to just be played at a really high pace and high intensity.
But so far, we know that there's 2 teams in the playoffs now, confirmed.
Yeah. Yes.
Positions, Widnes are either first or second. We can't finish any lower now.
No, it's going to be first or second.
Neither can Telford. And they're also first or second.
So yes, the top 2 are now 1 and 2, one way or the other. Mm-hmm. This weekend, hopefully, we'll confirm positions for that.
Hopefully.
But 3rd, 4th and 5th are still very much up for the asking.
They are.
Yes.
And it is very much a case of roll the dice and see what we get.
Yes.
What would your predictions be? Just off the top of your hat.
It's such a difficult one to predict. I mean, I think I'm tempted to say I think Hull will be in there. I don't know what position, whether it'll be 3rd or 4th, but I think Hull will be in there.
I think Bradford will be in there just because they started so well. They had such a good start to the season, and now they're still picking up points. So I think Bradford will sneak in. Unfortunately, the expense of Sheffield.
Yeah, that's where my head's going. I'm suspecting, based on the max potential. The thing is, if it was all games to play, if it was based on games to play, then looking at where the points are, I would put Sheffield. Actually,
I suppose the difficulty there.
I think Bradford would just lose out based on my predictions, because I would go with 39. Based on my current predictor league, I would have Bradford finishing on 39. Hull would finish above, and I think the Hull Sheffield game. That's a tricky one, but I think Sheffield and Altrincham, I think it would go to Sheffield.
Yeah.
So it's the Sheffield-Hull game that would sway it. So that's a tricky one. It's, I mean, Andy Schutz just sent us a message, and it says, he agrees. The Hull Senators postponed game is going to be interesting.
That's going to have such a big, potentially a massive impact.
The fairest thing to do if you were in that position would probably go 1-1, and then you're not affecting any outcome based on that single game. But we don't know what the situation regarding the cancellation was, or what's been offered to either team.
All we do know is that there was an ice fault, and the condition of the ice meant it wasn't playable. So.
Was that the one that was started and then postponed after the first period? There was one they started, wasn't there? And then after 20 minutes, they decided they couldn't continue.
It was the it was that very infamous game that was very trickily stopped at one point. So we I don't know. I don't know how you.
It's such a difficult one.
Because Hull, I think, were in the lead.
Predict.
Hull were 2-1 up, I believe. Yes, when it got stopped.
So, anyone's got answers on a postcard? Any way they think that's going to go? We'd be interested. If you've got any predictor league ideas, send them through radio@widnesworld.co.uk. Messages as we're getting up towards the end of the season. If you've got any messages and hellos you want to say to people regarding, of course, the playoffs are coming, and it's going to be we want a big party. Planet Ice Widnes. 20th, 21st?
Yeah, Easter weekend.
So,
definitely want a big party. And I'm hoping that a lot of people will come and pack the rink on Sunday.
Oh, yes.
We need a really full rink. Let's give the lads a great atmosphere to potentially, hopefully, win their first league title.
Yes, a clean game. We don't want Jill Gillingham having to fill in a long game sheet.
Let's let Jill have a bit of a rest.
We don't want her escorting someone off the ice and all the rest of it like she has to do.
It is the Aces.
Well, there is that chance.
So it's going to be a lively one. It's
always a lively one when the Aces come.
I mean, we've got 3 games left. Aces at home, Dragons away, Dragons at home.
Yeah.
Yes,
and let's make, especially the 2 home games, Altrincham and Deeside, let's pack the rink. Let's fill it.
We'll have a decent away support at the rink as well, because Altrincham and Deeside usually bring quite a few with them as well. So should be a really good atmosphere.
Oh, Andy's saying hello to Jill as well. We know he likes to say hello to Jill Gillingham, and it's all. Andy wants a quiet game as well, but
because he doesn't want to have to keep stopping the clock. Less chance for mistakes. The quieter the game, the less chance for mistakes or
He's
misheard
done a great
whistles.
job all year. Let's let him have a rest.
Yeah, we don't want to have to stack the clock.
No.
So thankfully, I will say one thing about the clock at Widnes. If you're at least only stacking up to 4 penalties, you can stack them.
Yes, they're all
That's
visible
very
on
true,
the
yeah,
clock.
you can see them all.
There's other clocks where you can only put on 2 penalties at a time. So you have to have a piece of paper handy.
And the mental arithmetic has to kick in.
And when the next penalty starts, you've got to have it noted down. So when you can get a stoppage on the clock, you can put in that time on the clock. So the penalty will then run, or be very quick with the clock and put it in. Because, there's a couple of clocks where you can't do it. Well, unfortunately, time has absolutely frittered by. And we've run out of time. Well, Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes. I think I know which song I'm going to play out with. It's a lively one. But, I have another message, Crumbs. The messages are coming in thick and fast this evening. Ah, yes. Oh, Jen can't make the full game, but she will be supporting. Hopefully she'll be able to see it at some bits of it at least. Oh, poor Jen.
Fingers crossed.
We will try and get some videos for you, Jen.
I don't know how you're able to miss a game. I mean, it's hockey season, you know.
I know.
But sometimes there are things that crop up. Occasionally a wedding, as in my case, once or twice.
That reminds me, can I just give a quick happy birthday to my sister's boyfriend? It is his birthday today.
Ah,
Yes.
So happy birthday, Peter.
happy birthday. Happy birthday from everyone at Time to Go Wild Radio. Well, it's time to pack up the puck, put the kit in the kit bag and trundle on out for another week. We will be back, of course, on Monday of next week with a roundup of potentially dramas. Who knows what news we will have. But in the meantime, wherever you're going in this coming week, enjoy your hockey. It's going to be lively wherever you are. We hope you have fun. Support your teams. Pack the rinks. Oh, and of course, it's one of our little wild ones' birthdays, of course, Lily May.
Of
her
course,
birthday
it's
party.
Lily May's birthday, isn't
It
it?
is.
Well, we'll just about forgive you,
We'll let you off then, Jen.
seeing it's Lily May's birthday party. Well, as we say, wherever you are, enjoy your hockey. Pack the rinks out wherever you are. Your teams want your support and need your support. Guys, thank you once again.
No
Thank you
problem.
for having
Thank
us.
you. And
It's always
thank
a
you,
pleasure.
everyone, for listening.
Well, I think it's time to play out with a song that is one that features on a bit of a warm-up mix I have, and I think it's a cracking piece of music. It's by Airborne. It's called Stand Up for Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Wonderful
song.
choice.
So yes, and stand up for your teams. From the two of you,
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
from me, I'm back on Thursday from 9 with a Bodtinery show. Until then, have a good week. And time to go wild. Ta-ra.